What's up, people? It's your boy DC. All right, so check it. The future of Project Scorpio, where does it lie? Now, I know instantly some of you are gonna be like, oh, wait, pause, let me hit the pause button. This dude is a PlayStation dude. Should I even listen to what he's got to say? Then again, you guys call me a Nintendo dude because I defend the Switch. Then you guys call me a 3DS fanboy. Then you call me a PC racist. Sometimes I'm starting to be confused of what you guys want me to be. Well, I'm DC, and this is the news you get now. Boop. So anyhow, Project Scorpio, where is the history of Project Scorpio? Will it fail? Will it succeed? Now, if you're gonna think I'm gonna be doing jabs or basically like trying to clown the system, whatever it is, listen to what I'm saying before you go ahead and hit the dislike button, because you're obviously still here, so let's get educated a bit. Or let's figure this out together. So, you guys remember when Thomas Maller from Moon Studios basically said that the PlayStation 4 Pro was a half-assed system? Notice that everybody took that part of the actual article and ran with it, mainly fanboys, because they didn't want to hear someone talk about their favorite piece of plastic. And I went back and I read the article and I started to do some research. I even made a video on, remember a while back, on Microsoft doing false advertisement with the Project Scorpio, saying that it's the most powerful console ever, the first console to do 4K. And I even basically went at them when they were basically, when I even made a video saying that the Scorpio is going to be a next gen system. Now, there's two pieces of information. There's two pieces of information where I'm gonna cover this, where I feel, and they're leading breadcrumbs for everyone to understand that this thing is not an Xbox system. So Thomas Maller basically says all consoles are x86 PC and the architecture will remain the same. That's why Sony was able to quickly reiterate on PS4 and make a beefier version of it. The Scorpio is a next-gen system with the added benefits of your old games will still be compatible. From this point on, similar to PC, you will not lose any of your library when you buy the next-gen system. I guess since NeoGAF is confused, Microsoft will need to do a little work with making it clear to everyone that Scorpion isn't just some half-assed upgrade, which the PS4 Pro kinda is. So basically, but a full-blown next-gen machine that will just be backwards compatible with your current library. So that's basically what he said. Now, I'm also going to post that up there, but also at the same time, if you go to the Project Scorpio website, they basically say this, and I quote on the actual site itself: the most powerful console ever, featuring 6 teraflops of graphical processing power, true 4K gaming, and compatibility with Xbox One games and accessories. And compatibility with Xbox One games and accessories. Also, there's no VR in there anymore, high fidelity VR. It's just straight up 6 teraflops of power, true 4K gaming, and backwards compatible with Xbox One games and Xbox One accessories. Now, that's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to see. Remember a while back where everyone was saying that the PlayStation 4 Pro, they were worried if it's going to be able to play the old school games. Well, this type of era where gaming is at, x86 is what PCs use. So x86 is basically what a PC's architecture is. So it's easy to just put those games over. Those games will be backwards compatible. It's not like when you were doing the cell processor on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox, where the developers knew that the PlayStations were better, but they developed and made the game look better on the 360. It's because they're two different type of actual system themselves, completely different. And that's why third-party games look better on the 360. Not the fact that it's so better, but it was because of the x86 architecture and the power of the system itself. Now, you understand where I'm going with this. Backwards compatibility is the norm. It's not something that's we got to take an old drive or anything like that and do so. No, they're using Blu-ray drives. They're using DVD drive. Blu-ray players are backwards compatible with DVD drive. Same thing with a 4K HDR Blu-ray player. It's backwards compatible to DVDs, Blu-rays, CDs, Super Audio CDs, DSD discs, whatever it is that actual drive supports, it's backwards compatible down to that stuff. So the fact that these things are x86, like Thomas Maller said, all it is just basically a PC, a beefier PC, and now using the same x86 architecture and putting that game on the Xbox One. So they're not going to leave the Xbox One behind, which is slick. It's not. So in reality, Scoprio will have its own games, but because it's x86, it's just trickling back down to the Xbox One S. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like they're doing this whole different thing and changing it up. But here's where there's the problem. The problem now lies in the messaging of Microsoft. Now, because Microsoft basically, if you can't read between the lines, this is their next gen system. I mean, frankly, they lost 26 million. And again, you know, Major Nelson, Paul, whatever his name, whatever his name is, Aaron Greenberg didn't debunk these numbers. Super Data put out 26 million units. No one said, no, it's 30. No one said, no, it's 28. No one said, no, it's 27. They've left it that way and haven't argued with it yet. No, none of them have. Phil hasn't said a damn thing either. So they lost. So why would they come out with another iteration of the Xbox and then charge more and then be the same thing as a person? Now the problem is with that smaller fan base, now putting out a brand new generational console could only do a few things. Now Sony has, and hold on a minute, Sony can now say, ha, you lost, I beat you. Because they don't have to drop PlayStation 5 now. They could drop PlayStation 5 in 2019. What is Microsoft going to do then? Okay, guys, it's time for a new system in the next year. Or if they say they're going to do it in 2018. Hypothetically. Now, we can't say that's not possible because Microsoft is doing it right now. So, hypothetically, Sony comes out the woodwork and say, hey, you lost. Let's drop PlayStation 5 in holiday season of 2018. Then what? This system is now a brand new PlayStation with more power, same x86 architecture, play that same game, and now basically be more powerful. You see where I'm going with this? So by them doing this, it feels like Microsoft is struggling to stay afloat. They don't know what they're doing. Like Phil Spencer was on stage saying, what is it? On E3 saying, most powerful console ever, 6 teraflops of power, high fidelity VR, holiday 2017. Now this whole message on the website has changed. Now it's sparse rendering. Their games are gonna be native 4K. They haven't said if all their games are gonna be native 4K 60. It's up to the developers to do what they want. So it's not true 4K because, all right, here's the thing. PlayStation 4 Pro does not do true 4K. The Scoprio will not do true 4K. There's native 4K, then there's true 4K. There is 4K architectures, 4K mapping, volumetric lighting, textures, all of that stuff added into just making 4K. Like for instance, I could film this at 1080p and render it at 4K on video on Vegas. This video wasn't shot in 4K. It's not a native 4K thing, but the native playback is either it's upscaled, or let's say I have a game on my PC and I basically just turn the settings up to 4K. That didn't do anything. They didn't add any extra textures. They didn't add any extra texture filter rates or anything like that to make it a true 4K system or true 4K game. So the verbiage is also a problem, but there's also one other thing that Microsoft could have in their back pocket, and they're hoping that this plays out right. Now, they were hoping that Sony would get scared and not launch the Pro, launch a little bit later so that Scoprio could come out first and beat them to the game or slow down what they're trying to do. We know that PlayStation 4 Pro didn't light the world on fire. It's a niche system for people that want that extra high fidelity graphics, high fidelity textures, whatever it is. It's not for everybody. But Microsoft is looking at it like, okay, we can't go out there and say that this is just an iteration. We got to kind of make it seem like it's the next evolution in Microsoft gaming, which is still backwards compatible. So all the people that went out and buy an actual Scorpio, an Xbox One S, is screwed. Even though it's not leaving them behind, because it's like owning a weak PC versus my PC. You still play the same games, but you can't play it in the same level as I can. You get what I'm saying? You're still being left behind. And the whole talk of leaving a console behind because of the hardware, all developers have to do is build a game in that system in mind at that high level peak, and then trickle it down. All it takes is patch updates. So the next thing that Microsoft could do, like I was saying, is PlayStation is beating PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, the Wii, as of right now, and then toppling them with software sales. Now, Sony could say, fuck that, we don't care. People are buying the system. Let's beat our numbers before. Let's have that major feat and don't launch PlayStation 5 till 2020, 2022. You know what I'm saying? 2021. Now Microsoft could say, oh, it was just an iteration. Here's our next system, because that's close to 5 years down the line. And if they play that game, it'll say 7 or 8 to 10 years. So it all depends on what happens or how PlayStation rebuttals this thing. They can look at it and be like, okay, yeah, it's powerful. We still have more consoles sold. We still have more people on PlayStation. We still have more games on PlayStation. So the question I have is, being with this conversation I just gave you guys, Microsoft saying one thing, then changing their mind, it seems like they're in a stumble. And now let's say 26 million to start off a new generation. You're starting a new generation off with a small set of audience, a small set of people. You basically launched this system, basically trying to fuck all the people that sell your games by running a DRM and not being able to trade your games in, trying to fuck over the guy that sells your console, because that's how GameStop makes their money. That's how Best Buy makes their money, with trade-ins. That's how these mom and pops make their money with trade-ins, but then they're gonna hold your system and you tried to fuck them over and then fuck the gamers over. Now, you say that this is gonna be the most powerful console. It is. In reality, it is. There's no doubt in my mind that it's going to be the most powerful console at the moment. I'm not going to say ever, at the moment. It will lead the gaming industry, but it's not an iteration. Not like what the PlayStation 4 Pro is. You get what I'm saying? He is right about, Thomas Mahler is right that the PlayStation 4 Pro is a half-ass upgrade, but Sony's playing it right. They just incrementally increased it to make their games run the way that they kind of wanted it to from launch. Microsoft is looking at what the fans are saying. I'm getting PlayStation kind of runs the games at 1080. That's not what the fans are saying. That's what the hardcore, diehard nerds are saying. That's not what the core audience, the casuals, are saying. So they're going about their marketing wrong. And now this statement from Thomas Mahler from Moon Studios, that's basically saying that this thing is a next-gen system. All it is just x86 architecture, like your goddamn PC, which you can play your old school games on. There's no way you can't grab an old game and throw it on your PC. I can go back and grab the original Morrowind and throw it on my PC now, and this is all 2016 hardware. You get what I'm saying? Well, 2015 hardware and upgraded to 2016. You get what I'm saying? All it is just one type of architecture. So backwards compatibility is just the norm. I've been saying this for the longest time, hence Gaming Tech Head. I haven't changed my statement. But anyways, guys, tell me what you think in the comment section. Sorry for the long video. I actually recorded this video in the car, but I didn't have the mic, so it sounded really shoddy. And I kind of argued and made it seem like, like stupid. So I'm doing this better with an actual conversation where I actually sit and recollect myself to basically speak to you guys on a gamer's level. Anyways, people, as always, like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that notification bell. And again, check out the community. Help us reach other gamers. Also, jump on PlayStation News Now on Sundays for the Gamer Couch podcast. I think we're going to launch a new channel for it, but we'll leave that up to Fox to announce, and then I'll post it on my Twitter. That's going to be on Sundays now at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's basically it, man. Again, thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think about this. Tell me how you feel about this. Do you feel in a way betrayed that this is, in a way, it's hard to say it's betrayed because it's basically a beefier PC. They've changed the way that they've developed games. It's not like PlayStation 2 and Xbox One. It's not like GameCube and, you know, these other different type of processors, different type of ARM processors to do the type of coding that the developers will get irritated to do. It's just like PC. It's simple now. Anyways, people, as always, your boy DC1983, your gaming tech head. Like, subscribe, and comment. Peace.